find an edible cookie dough recipe, so I think I might be making chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. This should be easy because like you just have to make the vanilla ice cream base and then mix in the edible cookie dough and chocolate chips. I am going to make the edible cookie dough. This is in my mother's handwriting, and I think she made this 2 years ago on Christmas when my grandparents were up. Why are you not focusing on me? That was weird. And there's no instructions, it's just the ingredients, so I'm pretty sure all I have to do is just mix it together. Okay, so it calls for a stick of butter. I just have this, it's in the fridge. It's like rock solid, and I'm pretty sure it needs to be room temperature. So I'm just gonna microwave it because I don't have time to wait here until this like thaws. Tip, if you're melting butter in the microwave, cut it up and melts faster, and take it out of its paper so there's less mess. You don't want it to be fully melted, you just want it to be like half melted with still chunks in it. Okay, to make cookie dough normally, you do the butter, 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Always make sure your brown sugar is packed. Brown sugar, 1/4 cup of regular sugar. I also usually add the vanilla, and this one calls for milk, so I add that in here too. Don't know why I have a speech impediment all of a sudden. 1, 2, 3. I don't need to add salt because it was salted butter. Ooh, I'm gonna use these minis. Okay, so this is my edible cookie dough. My plan is to roll these into teeny tiny balls, roll them out on parchment paper, freeze them till they're solid. Meanwhile, make the base for this ice cream, which is just the vanilla ice cream. And then when the ice cream's done, this should be frozen. Then after I take it out, I can mix it all together with the chocolate chips and this. Okay, so I found this like teeny tiny cookie scoop. But, I mean, that's like a mouthful of cookie dough, which isn't bad, but maybe I can do it and then just like cut them in half. Okay, we'll do that. So I have my tray here. I just did aluminum foil. I just noticed I could have just rolled it out into a log and cut it when it was frozen, but it's okay. This works. I feel like edible cookie dough is like a scam for big companies, because like it's not fun without the risk of salmonella, right? So I'm gonna pop these in the freezer. 2 cups of heavy cream, 1 cup of milk, splash of vanilla, uno, duo. You may be thinking, that's not Spanish. No, it's Latin. I was a Latin kid in high school. Salt. How gritty it is, that's all the sugar. So I basically whisk until it's not gritty anymore. I'm going to refrigerate this for an hour to give the cookie dough an extra hour to solidify. I forgot to film me putting it in the ice cream maker, but the ice cream maker was done, so that's the next clip. Ignore my chicken tenders over there. I got hungry. I had a dream a couple days ago that me and my cousin were in like this airport. And the airport was like under construction. We couldn't find our gate. Our gate was like 100 or something. We had like one thing of luggage with us and we were trying to find, finally some guys like, oh, the way that you guys need to go is like under construction, join the group and I'll show you where your gate is. So he starts to bring us into like this big auditorium area and it has 4 gates like in each corner. And it looks like my high school auditorium. I knew it was a dream by that time, but I was too lazy to change it and I kind of was interested in where this was going. We get in line because we thought that the gate that he stopped in front of was gate 100, and I put like our suitcase with the other passengers' suitcases in that gate, and then he's like, oh no, this isn't your gate, we have to go through this gate to get to your gate. We're like, oh, okay, and I leave the suitcase there, And we finally like move on, and he's like bringing us back like all these weird hallways and stuff, and there's just like random like animal crates and stuff, and we're all like, where the heck is this guy taking us? And like some people from my high school were in line with us, and I changed them because I didn't like them, because, you know. So I like changed them to people that I did like. So we were like talking in line because like he would stop every once in a while, and then like we'd go through like 5 more corridors and stuff. Finally, like halfway through wandering through this gigantic airport, I'm like, oh my gosh, I left the bag. So I had to run all the way back. I like remembered the way that we came. I ended up getting lost on my way back, stumbling into like first class or whatever I guess you would call it, like the first class lounge. Like they had like a bar and like a television, and it kind of looked like the underneath like inside of a yacht. I don't know, it's like a nautical theme airport, I guess. Beats me. I went up to like the guy in the little fancy what's it called, bow tie. This is a lot of edible ice cream for this, but it's fine. And he had a name tag. I think his name was like Lewis or something. And I went up to him and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I need your help. I can't find my way back. And he interrupts me and he's like, you shouldn't be here. Like your kind isn't welcome here. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? And then like everyone started looking at me, like all the first class people. And they're all in like cocktail dresses and like 3-piece suits. And I'm there in like my jogger sweatpants and a t-shirt because, you know, I wanted to be comfortable at the airport. One person's like, you need to help her. She finally like comes out, and guess who it is? It's Colleen Ballinger. Like, you know, Miranda Sings. It's the lady behind Miranda Sings. I watch her on YouTube, so I'm guessing that's why she was in my dream. And in person, I bet you she's really nice, which is why she helped me. And the guy's like, I'm not helping her. Like, her kind isn't welcome here. And she's like, fine, I'll help her then. So she's like, okay, tell me what's wrong and I'll help you. You were missing something. So I tell her like the whole story. And she's like, oh yeah, we were in the same auditorium to get to this area. So you're like just on the other side of it. Like, come on, like I'll help you. So she like says goodbye to somebody, and I look back and it's like her husband and like their 3 kids. And like I wave bye to them, and she's like, okay, let's go. Like, we've got time. Like I have, our flight was delayed, so that's why we're all in the lounge. She's like telling me about like her show that she's going to, and she's like, where are you going? And I'm like, honestly, I don't know, this is a dream. And then she like dead stop looks at me and she's like, you weren't supposed to know that. I think this is like the first time that I've said like it's a dream out loud in one of my dreams. So she like dead stop looks at me and she's like, you weren't supposed to know that. And like her whole demeanor changes, and I'm like, oh, ha 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 ha. I was like really nervous. I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? I hope this doesn't turn into a nightmare. So she's just staring at me in like this middle of this corridor, and I'm like, well, can you help me find my luggage anyway? And she's like stopped talking to me at this point, and she's just staring at me, and I'm just like, okay. So I hurry and wake myself up because I'm scared that it's gonna turn into a nightmare, and then I have like really hard troubles like getting out of nightmare. So I wake myself up, and sometimes like if I go right back to bed after I wake myself up from a dream, I can kind of like reset it and like go back a couple, I don't know, scenes until, I don't know, where I wanted to be basically. So I tried to go back to sleep, but I couldn't. So now I'm like, where the heck was I going? I'm just like really intrigued of where I was going into this airport. Moral of the story is, don't ever say that you're in a dream when you're dreaming, because that turns really dark.